My name is Alexandra Kuhnke. I'm currently working at Iwalewahaus, what is part of the University of Bayreuth, as the digital coordinator, is called like this, and the deputy collections curator. Yeah. For us, it's like, since the collection is based on a private collection, so to say, from the founder of Iwalewahaus, Uli Bayer. And Iwalewahaus started with a small core collection, so to say, and in the 80s, 1981, and from then on, it was part of like digitizing them, just to have an image for the database. So if you start to work with a database, it was easier to work with it if you have an image of an object that you want to catalog, so to say. And on the other hand, it was about like the awareness of that there are treasures in the collection, yeah, not only in the art collection but also in the archive, yeah. So we have like books or maybe letters or some documents that are very rare, and that are maybe letters, private letters between collectors and artists. So that is very crucial data, and it's very fragile. Also, these objects are very fragile. So the idea was to digitize them, just to document it, but also to have a certain status quo of how they look like, how is the quality and the current status of the object, so that we know afterwards if we need to do something to how we have to take care of these objects, yeah. So, and if it's maybe damaged somehow due to any processes, you never know what happened in the future. So you have always something digital that can give you a guidance, what was the status quo in this and that time. So it could help out also for the in conservation, in questions of conservation and taking care of these objects, to have something that you can guide. And there are other things that are important while thinking about how to digitize them, and why digitizing objects like this is to save the heritage, these treasures, and for the future generations, yeah, somehow, and to make it accessible and visible. And these are the parts that I think are the most important parts, and also the most tricky parts, because if you digitize something, there are thousands of ways of digitizing something, and it must be, before you digitize something, it is always important to know for what purpose you want to do it. Yeah, because if you want to have just an image for the database that helps you how to remember what kind of object is the data sheet about, then of course a small or a short snapshot is enough. But if you think about like really conservative objects and digitize it to save it for the future generations also, and so that you have something that you want to save long term, like when you think about like not only for 5 years but maybe for 10 or 20 or 50 years, then you need to try to use the highest standard of digitization. What is the status quo right now? Because you have to transform it anyways in 5 years into another format and so on. So if you have like the best quality that you can get in the current status quo, then it makes it easier for the future to transform it and to get out of this information that is has value. To the first part of your questions, since Iwalewahaus is part of the University of Bayreuth, we have a local server at the University of Bayreuth that is hosted by the university. So, and also due to all these right questions, like copyright questions and things like that, the law system of Germany or Bavarian state is now here the case. That is important to know, that the data that is saved at the server at the University Bayreuth is analyzed, so to say, this status of the current right and law system in Germany or Bavaria. So while it is stored there, the IT people of the University of Bayreuth have to take care and make sure that it is a safe space, and that is not easy to hack it and things like that, and that we will lose the data. So it will always be a mirrored copy of it available as well. So if one part of the server will be down or cracked or whatever, then we have always a second copy, and it is like it communicates so directly with each other that it mirrors, so to say. So if I change something on the running server, so to say, the productive space, it will be mirrored and saved at the other one as well in the same point. So you have like always these security system around that, so to say. And for the other question, what is maybe the most important question when it comes to user accessibility and usability, it is and user experience. We decided to have for the database to show to the public, we have like a small version, a cropped version, so to say, of the image. And for these other reasons that I said, like to save it for the future and long-term save of data, you need like to save a high quality in a different file standard that does not change when you copy and paste it and copy and paste it, but it stays like the original file. And this is not necessarily part of the database. So we don't save it necessarily inside the database, but we have another part, another space on the server that is only for these high-res images. So to find the proper image, then it is important that these high-res images, the name of the file is always the inventory number. So this is how we do it. So we have like in total kind of 3 versions. We have the high-res TIFF version, what is like also for future generation and for long-term processes available. And we have publications, for example. We have a JPEG copy that is just for, you know, if you want to use it for a presentation, PowerPoint or what else, like inside internally. And we could also hand it out, but if you change, if you copy and save it all the time, yeah, the quality will get lower. And then we have the small cropped version, so to say, that is easily loadable if you want to do research. Yeah, so this is, so to say, the dream to have it for the whole collection, but as you mentioned before, it's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of time, and for that reason, it is yeah, maybe a good thing to plan it and to have, first of all, you have an overview how many objects are there. Are there only paintings and paper artworks? are there maybe digital born or original objects digitally created? Are there sculptures, for example? I think like if you know what is in the collection, like then you can think about maybe little parts of the collection that are maybe the most important parts for you to digitize, so that you have that you think about like what is the most important thing that we need to digitize, because it will not be possible. I think it's like to have everything digitalized and in a very, very good like the research status and the documentation of these objects and the metadata, like all this information that comes to the object in the database, that you will find like the final state. You will never reach it. So this is something that is very important to know, I think, because it is always it is most of the time the goal. We want to digitize everything, and we want to make it everything accessible, and we want to document all the information that we have in the database. So this is something that I don't know if it's also really a goal that we need to achieve, because if you have, for example, an art object needs to be digitized, we first need to know for what purpose. And then it takes like different amount of time to do that. You have to find maybe a proper place where you can do it, maybe someone who is really good in it, who has a profession in doing things, who knows how to handle these objects, who knows how to digitalize it, who knows how to handle the light and everything. And also these if you just take a photograph, or if you just so to say scan something like letter, then it maybe doesn't take a lot of time. And if you keep in mind that you need to have like a certain set of that you need to have this file type of file, and high res or not, like all these the setup, so to say, that the setup is available, and you have a database that is digital, and you can add in information immediately during this process, so to say. So you take the art object in the room where you can digitalize it, and you have someone who is describing it, who takes the measurements and everything, and type it directly in. Then it is maybe faster, but the question is, needs it to be fast, or what kind of information is the information that is also important for the next 15 or 10 years? And is there maybe information that we will never ever get out of the object, because it is the secret of the object, it is the agency of the object, and so on. And when it comes to digitize something, and for example also to save the heritage for future generations and so on. So these are very important things right now due to political reasons and so on. It's getting more important for the society, for the stakeholders, so to say, to support these projects. And I think if you have a project idea, if you have, for example, a collection that needs to be digitized, then it's easier to get funding for it nowadays, if you come up with a good project plan. and you are more free if you're not part of old institution. I would say you are more free to hand in innovative ideas, and yeah, so I think both sides have something positive in it. Yeah.